Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions and we're doing the repeat weeks. So we're back at week 3, so we're week 103. And the week 3 was Matchbox books. Yeah, Matchbox books. For some reason I can never ever say that. So yep, I haven't improved in the whole 2 years that I have been doing this series. In fact, I've probably actually got worse. So what you're going to need if you want to make some of these Matchbox books, you're going to have some, you know, some paper, some scissors, some glue, and you know, you may want to have your corner rounder if you wanted to round the corners, not essential. If you've got a bone folder, you're going to find that handy. Again, not essential. You can always use your, you know, scissor handle or something. You can make them in any size. You can make them in any style. So if you've got any small scraps, you know, hopefully we'll, you know, get time and I can kind of just demonstrate that you can literally make them any size that you want. So yeah, let's get cracking straight away. So I've got a whole bunch of different bits and pieces here. Some are scraps and some are not scraps, it's got to be said. So let's get started like with this one. So some of these are left over from our previous week's mass makes. You know, so it's really great to be able to then just come on and, you know, finish off using them. So I'm going to take this one now. Traditionally, in my head, a Matchbox book should be kind of like slimmer, if you see what I mean, and up that way. But to be fair, there's no reason why, if you've got a piece of paper this kind of shape and size, there's no reason why you can't actually do it, you know, this way round, if you see what I mean. So let's do that for this one. So I'm just going to bring it in like this. Now, what you're going to want to do is basically bring your side in. It's been a while since I made these, so I hope I'm bringing this in the right way round. And then you're going to want to fold your flap up, which is going to be like the tuck. So these are kind of like, yeah, I think they're like chewing gum kind of packets and things like that, to be honest. So, you know, Matchbox books slash chewing gum packet. And then what you're going to want to do, I like to just open mine up with the fold piece folded down, if you see what I mean. And that shows me where to apply my glue. So I'm going to just quickly tidy this edge, which is obviously not very straight. Oh, I'm still not convinced it's very straight. It's possibly even worse. No, it's not worse, but it's certainly not better. Okay, right, let's just get rid of that. And then all you're going to do is basically run your glue straight down your like slither. So your slither is in between your fold and your piece that's tucking in, if that makes sense. And then you can obviously squish that down. And of course you can stitch these too. You know, I have made them in the past where I've stitched them. I'm not going to stitch them today because of course, you know, we're doing the mass make and, you know, I always just think, well, not everybody's got a sewing machine. So it's quite good if we can, you know, be as inclusive as we can possibly be. Now, why is my glue not wanting to hold that down? Okay, let's just do that. Okay, and then basically what you've got is you've got a little bit that tucks in. Now, I might just want to trim this one down slightly because I think it needs to be slightly less tucked in, if you see what I mean. I'm just going to take just a very small slither off of that side, like that. Oh my goodness. What is going on with my cutting today? It's got shoddier and shoddier, hasn't it? Okay, let's just go straight along there like that. Okay. Yeah. And that's it. That's literally all there is to it. So this one would be a side opening Matchbox booklet. Like that. So absolutely lovely. And then what you could do is obviously glue it on, say, 3 sides, and you'd have it as then a side pocket and then a little opening flip, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pop that to one side and we will do another one. So let's just pop that to one side. Okay, so I'm going to bring in this tiny weeny slither now and just kind of demonstrate that, you know, you can make these work with any size scraps that you've got. So let's just say we want to have this like that. And then what we would do is cut that across here. Oops. Do you know, I just binned that whole scrap. I mean, I can't bring myself to, so I've taken it back out. It's just like automatic pilot. I went to throw it in the bin and then thought, what am I doing? That's too big to go in the bin. Right, so then you're going to just fold your little flap up here. You might find it easier to fold your flap up first and then fold your piece in that's going to be, you know, tucking into your flap. So perhaps we'll do the next one like that. As I say, I haven't made these for a long time, so it's hard to remember actually what I found easiest, but it doesn't matter. You can, you know, you can change it up and do whatever suits you. So I'm just gonna make sure that's a bit straighter like that. And I would just then trim it up on this edge like that. Okay. Okay, and then again, just pop some glue in here. I mean, you could even staple this, to be honest. You know, that would be absolutely fine. And actually, if you wanted to staple it like with some fabric kind of thing, so perhaps I'll demonstrate that in a minute. So that's our little piece there. Okay, and obviously that one then just tucks in like that. I mean, again, you know, there's no reason why you couldn't actually have this like landscape on a page, even though it's small. I mean, I personally just kind of automatically went to put it this way up, but I mean, actually you could still have it this way up. But you know, they're just really nice pieces, aren't they? I love the fact that the closure is actually right here, you know, all encapsulated in the same piece. You're not even having to think about a closure. Your closure is this, you know, this piece here that you've glued down. So they're really, really nice. Right, let's do one then using some staples. So let me just bring in another piece. So this was a piece again from another week's mass making. So we'll do another sideways one. Just deciding which way. Right, okay, so let's do what I said before, where we fold in the flap first. I mean, like I say, I really don't think it probably matters which way round you do it. If you folded in the flap, what you want to do is, I always think, kind of go in about a third. Don't know whether you can really see this. About a third of the way into your flap, if you see what I mean. Probably half is perhaps slightly too much. And any more than that, definitely way too much. So I think kind of about a third of the way across your flap. Okay, so, and you know, I mean, again, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm just kind of roughly, you know, roughly speaking, you're looking at about a third. And then again, just squish that down with the bone folder. Again, let me just trim that off here on this edge, like that. And then what you can do is, I've got my Tim Holtz tiny attacher here. Let me see if I've got some pretty lace. Oh, come on, I've always got lace laying around. Would you believe my lace is pink, which is obviously not going to be quite right on here. Got this, which is blue, but it's a bit too blue. Oh, well, let's just go for this anyway, although it's not going to really be enough, to be honest. Right, let me just see what else I've got. Hold on. I mean, it's so typical, isn't it? Because I've got a whole bag here full of lace to the side of my desk, and of course I've got every colour except for, you know, what would be just ideal to use now. So let's just see. Oh, come on. Come on. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, I've got loads of like peachy colours and, yeah, peachy colours and pinks. I've got greens. I've got literally everything that you could possibly need, except for something that's going to go with this. So that's just always the way, isn't it? Let me just have a quick look on my desk to see if I've got anything. Oh, anything suitable laying about. Otherwise, I mean, I can stop the video and go and get some, obviously, but I'd rather not have to. Let me just have a look behind me in my lace drawer. Okay. Yeah, so I've got some, got this white. Oh, that's going to be, yeah, that's going to work nicely. Okay, right. So what you're going to want to do Now, obviously you don't want to staple, you know, too high where this is going to be tucked in. And now I've just looked, I've not gone anywhere near a third, to be honest. Oh, honestly. Right, I'm going to have to go in slightly more with my flap here. Okay, so for me, I'm obviously decided that actually I find the folding my flap in first not the greatest. So for me, I think fold the other side in first and then fold the flap up to meet it. But, you know, you play around with what suits you, you know, best. Find what suits you best. Right, so I've got this white lace. Now I'm just going to tear off this kind of headery type piece. Right, okay, let me check I've got it the right way up. Okay, so all you want to do now, like I say, you want to be careful that you're not going to be stapling where your piece is. So like this. Now I'm going to move my piece out just in case I actually staple over it. So, oops, like that. And then, you know, you're just kind of making like a little ruffle. Just at, you know, not even distances or anything like that, but just vaguely somewhere. Just vaguely somewhere along here. I mean, it really doesn't matter at all. No one's going to be judging and, you know, coming and inspecting your measurements or what you've been doing. Oh, please excuse my nail varnish. I literally just painted like another coat of nail varnish before I started the video. And of course, me being me, I've not waited long enough for it to dry. So now I'm scraping it off and it looks appalling because you can now see the underneath colour. So I'm so sorry about my shoddy nail polish, but that's just how it is today, I'm afraid. Okay, right. So here, I'll just put another staple in that section. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I mean, I'm making this look way fiddlier than it really is. It's not that fiddly, but for some reason, you know me, if you can make it look fiddly or find it fiddly, I'm going to. So, yeah. Okay, and a little bit here. Okay, right. Very final piece. And again, just a little staple in there. And then, right, just cut the lace off. So, I mean, although I made that look really fiddly, obviously it's not really fiddly at all. I'm, yep, just pathetic. Just pathetic when doing some of these things. So, please don't be put off by the stapling lace method. It's not fiddly at all. And that's how your piece will then tuck in. So, you know, you don't even have to glue. And obviously, if the staples are looking pretty rubbish to you, it doesn't matter, because when you come to use this, you know, you could glue it in like on 3 sides here. Your staples, therefore, would be glued, you know, onto the page. You're not going to see them. Then you'd have your pocket here, and then your obviously tuck, you know, flap in there like that. So, I mean, actually, to be honest, although it took me an incredibly long time, I absolutely love the look of this one. And to be honest, you could do this exactly the same on the sewing machine. So I'm just going to put another staple in here. You could do this exactly the same on the sewing machine. Obviously, mind your fingers, you know, if you're kind of ruffling up some lace at the same time. But I mean, equally, you could just stitch with a zigzag stitch or something like that. So that's that one. So for this one, obviously, I've got just this tiny section here from the leftover of the Edith Holden book. But again, just to kind of demonstrate, so you really can just use anything at all. So if I just kind of like fold this over. Actually, I might get rid of this where it's just got the, I'm not quite so keen on that section there. So I'll just get rid of that. Okay, and then you can fold that down like that. And then you can just fold your little flap, whoops, up there like that. Okay. Gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Hold on a second. Gosh, I'm so sorry about that. My phone never rings, and yeah, it was just a phone call I had to take. Right, so this is basically what we've got. So, I mean, it's a very skinny slither, but it's fine. So again, just kind of going in and running my line of glue straight down here, kind of next to the fold and next to where that flap, you know, reaches, and squash that down. Obviously, just press that down with my dry wipe here. Okay, and then that just literally unfolds. So, I mean, although it's quite a, you know, sorry, obviously that will tuck in once it's actually glued down. Obviously at the moment, you know, it's a bit tricky to get it in and out because it's still drying. But yeah, I mean, that will work exactly the same as those other ones. And actually, to be honest, although it looks, you know, a little bit useless as a kind of piece, once that's glued in, again, glue in on 3 sides, be a pocket or a little belly band actually. And then, you know, you've got that journaling space in there. So, you know, although it kind of looked like a bit of a useless piece, it's actually worked out that it's actually, you know, it's pretty good. So yeah, that's that one. Pop that to one side. Okay, what other paper have I got here? So yeah, let's just pull in some of the bits that I've been using in the couple of weeks previously. So I've got this one here. So I'm just going to do this as a, you know, kind of, what's the word? This way up, you know. Yeah, this way up. So going to go in here, and yeah, for me, I think it's easier doing the, you know, folding of the flap after. So I will fold in my flap here like that. Okay, just squish that down like that, and we will just cut this down along there. And again, obviously that would just work like that. So I would just again run my bead of glue down there like that. And obviously, you know, you can adapt these and change them as much as you like. So, you know, you don't have to leave them with square edges. We could round the edges and things. So let's just kind of do that on this one. Just so we've got some different looks going on. So we'll just round those edges. I don't mind them square or round, actually. And you could just round like just the top ones and leave the bottom ones square. I think that's quite nice. So for this one, I think what I might do is actually staple that lace across there as well, because I think that just looked really pretty. And to be honest, I can just picture it looking absolutely gorgeous on this one. So let's just take that across there. Oops, come on. Like that. And then like that. So I'll stop talking now about the, you know, the process of making them, because of course, you know, they're not that crazy difficult or anything like that. And we can just relax, have a nice time, make a few of these, and yeah, just have a general catch up. So I hope everyone's doing okay. Obviously it's early on in the week for you guys. Well, it's early on the week for all of us. I'm filming on the Monday. So we've had an eventful week here. It's been a bit of a silly week, to be honest. I think when I spoke to you last, I had something going on the Monday. So I was filming on the Saturday, and my son, my oldest son, he was going away for work on the Sunday. Yeah, I'm sure he was going away on the Sunday for work. So that's all, you know, took place and what have you. Well, since then, we've all had coronavirus. So, yep. I say we all, I can't actually say that I have, because I did do one of those lateral flow tests that you do yourself, because my son, my middle son, has obviously got, you know, a bunch of those which were given to him by the school. So yeah, he kind of showed me how to do one, and I semi did one on Wednesday. Now I have to be honest, I'm pathetic and a bit of a wimp. So I'm thinking I possibly didn't really poke it down my throat, you know, as far as I should have done. Right, I'm just going to trim this up here. Thinking I didn't poke it down my throat as far as I should have done. And so how reliable or exact my results are is questionable, to say the least. But, right, just having a look here. I think probably actually I want to make this slightly smaller. So I'm going to come right down and then trim that sort of edge off. So, yeah. Anyway, so, sorry, I started waffling again about what I was doing. Questionable how reliable my results are because, like I say, I'm pretty sure that I didn't really do the test kind of accurately enough. But my daughter and my son, so, well, first of all, sorry, my eldest son, he'd had his jab on Friday. I think I'd said that in the last video. He'd just had his jab. So on Sunday, he wasn't feeling too well. He might not have been feeling too well on Saturday either, actually. I can't quite remember. But obviously, we just put that down to his, you know, side effects from having the jab. Now, we'd had the Pfizer jab, which, you know, as far as I knew, I mean, I didn't know anyone who'd had side effects with that. But, you know, I mean, to be fair, I don't really know many people who've had that particular, you know, jab anyway. So I just thought, well, he's obviously got the side effects from the jab. So, of course, he went away on the Monday to go to work. He was working in, I think it was Nottingham. So, yeah, he went there and I spoke to him on Monday. I think he was feeling okay-ish. I mean, not brilliant, but not too bad, you know. And again, we still just thought, oh, well, it's, you know, it's the side effects of the jab. By Tuesday, my middle son and my daughter weren't feeling too well. My daughter had a sore throat and a temperature and, you know, wasn't really just generally feeling too great. Oops, actually, probably want to go in that way. Wasn't feeling too great. And my middle son kind of had similar symptoms, actually, to her. So, you know, again, kind of sore throat and, yeah, just generally, you know, not feeling brilliant. So at this point, obviously, I still didn't really think too much of it. I just thought, oh, well, you know, they've got like a summer cold or something like that. It was only really a day or so later because then I think it was my daughter kind of, she lost her appetite a bit and, you know, kind of obviously set alarm bells, you know, ringing. And so my son, who had been doing like regular checks anyway, because obviously for school, they kind of make them do them every couple of days. So he'd last done a test on the Monday and it was fine. So he did a test on, I think it was Wednesday night. And lo and behold, his test was positive. So my daughter didn't want to do one because she's a bit of a wimp like me and didn't want to have to poke the thing down her throat or up her nose, actually. So she didn't do one. So, you know, we can't absolutely swear by it that she's had it, but you know, I'm pretty sure she has because she had obviously the classic symptoms of, you know, loss of taste and smell and, you know, all that kind of stuff. That was when I did my test, you know, at the same time when my son said, oh, Mum, you know, my test's positive. So I thought, well, I had best do one. I'm just going to do this one that we used last week. So I thought, well, I had best do one as well. So, yep, I did one. And mine came back negative. But like I say, I'm a bit sceptical as to how well I actually did mine. So obviously spoke to my son, my eldest son, who was obviously working away. He was feeling better by this point. You know, so we kind of said, well, you know, what should we do? You know, you're away, you know, I don't know, you're feeling better. Still, I thought, well, I'm sure that his symptoms were obviously part of having that jab, really. So anyway, he obviously was coming back anyway on Friday. So when he came back on the Friday, funnily enough, that was the first PCR, I think it's called, you know, like the official test that we managed to get for my middle son. So he had the official test and then said to my oldest son, you know, well, when you come back, when you arrive home, you know, get yourself booked in and go and have your official test as well. So he did. And he also tested then positive. Again, I didn't have one of those formal tests because just a big girl's blouse, didn't want to have to have it. So yeah, didn't have it. I mean, you can probably hear I've got a bit of a frog in my throat right now. So I'm kind of thinking possibly I have had it. again, I mean, it's very hard to say, but nonetheless, obviously, so the big news here is we are now having to all self-isolate, which, oh, it's kind of frustrating because, oh my goodness, it could not be hotter. And I mean, obviously, normally if it's hot, we would just spend all of our time at the beach. So it's a bit depressing and disappointing not going to the beach. You know, but having said that, I mean, you know, thank goodness everyone seems to be doing okay. Yeah, so that's kind of our big news. And actually, I'm just going to think how this is going to look. Right, okay, so I'm going to chop it about here. So yeah, that's kind of the big news. And oops, there we go. So that, yeah, that kind of coincided with, I think I'd said in the last video, sorry, I'm just deciding which way I want to have this. Yeah, I think I said in the last video, we were having problems with our fridge freezer. So this has turned out very, very inconvenient because what's happened, we have been whittling down the food in our fridge freezer. You know, so because I didn't want to obviously just chuck food out and waste it. So we've been using it up and things as best that we could. And then we'd obviously switched our fridge freezer off, you know, like took everything that was left out and obviously threw things away and left the power off as the man had instructed us to do. He'd said leave the power off for 48 hours, then switch it back on, you know, hopefully that will clear the problem. So that's what we were in the process of doing. Well, of course, now we can't go to the shop to get any shopping. And what's worse, our fridge freezer is still not working. So obviously we've done the 48 hours and we switched it back on. And to be honest, within like a couple of hours, I'd opened the fridge just to see, you know, what was happening in there. And it felt incredibly cold already. And, you know, I said to my eldest son, oh, I've got this horrible feeling that's not going to have fixed it because it feels very cold very quickly. You know, already it feels quite cold. So we obviously didn't put anything in it and we left it to, you know, to come back. It's not fixed, would you believe? So very frustrating because we now have no things like, say, cheese or, you know, kind of fresh things, our fresh vegetables, you know, that need to be in the fridge. Haven't got those. Milk. So luckily, a friend dropped around some UHT milk and some cereal, so that's fine. We've got some milk. I mean, obviously things like cheese, you can't really kind of keep that anyway, so that's just a no go really. Yeah, it's worked out very, very annoying. And yeah, so now we've tried to phone the guy who obviously fixed the fridge in the first place, because of course, you know, I paid obviously £120 for the fridge to be repaired. He's now not there until Tuesday, you know, tomorrow, or for you guys that would be today. But obviously he cannot come into our house anyway because we're now isolating. So I don't quite know now what to do. I've been looking online for new fridge freezers. I mean, obviously they are not very cheap, and I think I said, but we had to have a new washing machine a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago. So this is pretty irritating and could do without more expense really. Oh, it's just, that's just how it seems to be going at the moment, to be honest, in our house. Yeah, it's very annoying and just a bit, you know, timing wise, I just think, oh really, this is pretty irritating that this has happened now. Unfortunately, things have deteriorated, like to a point, you know, with my husband, you know, that we're not obviously speaking or able to communicate really at all. So unfortunately, you know, my eldest son, he texted him and asked him to do us a food shop. You know, explained the situation that our fridge freezer has broken and has asked him to do a food shop. Emailed him a shopping list. I mean, my husband was not very friendly about it, but, you know, emailed him a shopping list and asked him could he, you know, kind of drop it off to us by Monday, which is obviously today. So then this morning we got a message saying he wasn't feeling well and that he was now not doing the food shopping. Well, it's just kind of, you know, I mean, if he's not feeling well, well, that's fair enough. I mean, unfortunately, the case is such that obviously I suspect he wouldn't have done the food shopping anyway, if you see what I mean. You know, it's just reached that level at the moment. So yeah, things are kind of going from bad to worse, to be honest, at the moment with things like that. Anyway, I mustn't turn this into just a whole ranting, moaning kind of video, because that's how I feel like it's getting all the time lately. So I, yeah, don't want to kind of do that. But I do just want to quickly, though, say thank you so much to you all. You're all so kind. And, you know, the amount of you who leave such kind messages and, you know, that you are so kind and thank me for uploading a video still. I mean, honestly, guys, I just want to say, you know, you are the thing that's kind of keeping me going through all of this, because, you know, without your kindness, to be honest, some of these days when I'm struggling, I would be, you know, really kind of at a loss, really. So yeah, it's me really who needs to thank all of you, because, you know, your support and your kindness is just incredible. And to be honest, it kind of is the thing that's, you know, bringing me joy at the moment. So please, yeah, please know that I am so very grateful to all of you. And yeah, really, your support just means so much. So I can't thank you all enough. Right, let's just do another sideways on one. So anyway, yep, enough of that moaning. But the good news is, you know, my daughter's clearly feeling a bit more back to normal, because she's been moaning and things already this morning. Yeah. And I thought, well, I'm going to utilise some of this time to try and do a lot of videos, because I think I said that we had booked a holiday to Wales for during the summer holidays, which of course now, you know, the children aren't going to be going back to school now, you know, before the summer holidays finish. You know, they're not going to go back to school now until September. So yeah, we're back to that kind of situation as well. But you know, that's fine. So yeah, anyway, so I thought that I would really utilize the time to get ahead of the game with filming. So I've been trying to do that, but of course the things like the fridge freezer is now just zapping up all my time, you know, trying to look up how to fix it, suggestions, things like that. Obviously now we're looking for a new fridge freezer. So yeah, again, I'm back to that silly stage of, oh my goodness, you know, time being zapped up with rubbish, you know, just utter rubbish really. So who knows what's going to be going on. I'm just going to trim this down slightly more. Okay. And yeah, I mean, it's so hot, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what the temperature is. I think the other day it was 26 or 27. Now I have to say, our garden, you know, it's not a very big garden, and we live kind of, you know, inland a bit. So our garden gets so hot, because it's very well, you know, secluded and things, because it's quite small. So it just is the biggest sun trap. So I mean, although the temperature is like 27, I suspect in our garden it's probably more like, I don't know, maybe 32 or something like that. It's really hot. So of course it's very hot up here in the loft. So, you know, I'm kind of staying up here until I can't bear it doing videos, and then I have to go downstairs and kind of cool off again. So yeah. And of course, before we realised that we were going to have to buy a new fridge freezer, you know, everyone was feeling sorry for themselves. You know, people were kind of not feeling very well, and it was all just like, you know, getting a bit depressing, obviously, in our house. It's been a horrible year for everybody. So I ordered a hot tub, would you believe? Yep. I'm not really a hot tub kind of person, it's got to be said. But, you know, I guess I just wanted to do something nice for the children, and, you know, nice for me too. Something for us to have a bit of fun with. We you know, I mean, we're going to Wales, but it's just like for 5 days. It's not kind of like a 2-week holiday or anything. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone's grateful to be going anywhere, you know, and I'm not trying to be ungrateful, you know, or anything like that. We're very lucky. But of course, you know, it's been a tough year, and I wanted to do something nice for everybody, really. So, yeah, ordered a hot tub. I think I ordered it from Amazon in the end. Which, of course, now I wish I hadn't really ordered, because, you know, that was before I realised I was going to have to fork out and buy a fridge freezer. But, you know, hey-ho, that's just how it is, isn't it? So anyway, on the good news is the hot tub is allegedly arriving on Wednesday. So I will tell you all about it or not next week. So hopefully, yeah, by next week's mass making, we will have set it up and, you know, fathomed out how to, I don't know, regulate the temperature. I mean, let's hope that regulates better than the fridge does, because, well, don't want more rubbish experiences. You know, yeah. So, I mean, at the moment, the weather's so hot that I did say to the kids yesterday, oh my gosh, it's so hot out here. You know, actually, I think what we'll have to do is have, you know, rather than be in a hot tub, have like a cold tub for a bit. I don't know really whether you can kind of do that. I don't know, you know, I mean, obviously when you first put the water in, it's going to start out cold, isn't it? Whether you can keep it cold, I don't really know. But yeah, I think we'll be kind of doing that as much as we can at the moment, because it is so hot out there. Oh, and that was the other thing, you see, because our paddling pool has, you know, broken. So paddling pool, you know, the pool that the kids kind of have had for the last couple of years, it's broken. So, of course, you know, we were looking for a new pool anyway. Some of those kind of more robust, rigid pools were about £70. So I thought, well, by the time that you've spent that, you know, you're not a million miles away from one of those. I mean, it's just an inflatable hot tub, you know, not a million miles from the cost of one of those. So anyway, that's what we are looking forward to arriving. Hopefully that's going to cheer everyone up. So yeah, right, let's count how many we've done. So we've done 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, let's decorate one up. I'm kind of drawn towards this one. It's really pretty, isn't it? This is just some scrapbook paper, but really love it. Yeah, so I will let you know how we get on. So have any of you guys got hot tubs? I know they're very popular. I mean, my sister, my younger sister, the one who also got a divorce recently, she's got a hot tub. And yeah, I mean, actually, the first thing she said when she thought, you know, that there's a possibility that her and her youngest, well, I mean, actually, her and her 2 boys, I guess, would have to isolate, wouldn't they? But I don't know whether they will have to. I'm not sure really that they've been in much contact with us. But the first thing she said was, oh, I'm going to put our hot tub up. So again, an inflatable one. You know, and I've kind of spoken to her. I mean, she kind of implies that it's quite simple to, you know, she seems to manage to put hers up and down often enough and things like that. So, oh, fingers crossed it's going to be okay and not just another ridiculous thing to have to look after. So we will see. We will see. You know, and I did say to the boys, you're going to have to, you know, step up and look after it, because obviously it's cost a lot of money. And yeah, you know. So, and the boys are fantastic like that. I mean, they're very responsible and very good. So I'm sure that they will look after it and things, you know, certainly help. I mean, they probably do everything, to be perfectly honest. They're very good like that. Oh, that's quite pretty on there, isn't it? Let's just have a look. Yeah, so fingers crossed we're going to get lots of fun out of that. But I will let you know how it's going anyway next week. You know, because hopefully we'll have had it for a few days by then. Well, I just hope it arrives. And of course, you know, I don't know quite what the situation is with things arriving. You know, presumably they're not going to be able to come in the house. They'll just have to kind of leave it, you know, leave it at the door, because obviously of the coronavirus. But you know, that's fine. They can do that. That's fine. So yeah, that's all very exciting. And yeah, I think everyone's quite looking forward to it coming. Yeah, I mean, they're very popular, aren't they? I don't know quite, you know, I don't know, maybe about 10 years, is it, since everyone started getting hot tubs? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'm always the last person to catch on. So, well, I always thought, to be honest, you know, I'm not really a hot tub kind of person. You know, and I thought, well, I'm not sure really that I would use it that much. But, you know, we have talked about it quite a few times now. And I just thought, well, you know, maybe this is the year everyone could do with a bit of fun, bit of cheering up. And, you know, yeah. So we will see. We will see. Fingers crossed. It's going to be awesome and we're going to love it. Okay. I mean, at the moment, I'm just thinking even fingers crossed it will arrive, because a lot of those hot tubs have been out of stock. And I know of somebody who'd ordered one, you know, that they thought it was arriving, and then just suddenly it was, you know, they were told it was out of stock and it never did come. So, yeah, I just hope that it does even arrive, you know, otherwise I'll be sat here moaning next week how it didn't even come. So stranger things have happened, hey? That looks quite pretty like that, doesn't it? So yeah, and let's put this on like a pocket. These are just my little, whoops, little Paris note cards. They're just quite a versatile kind of piece, really. Okay. Like that. Just glue that down. Okay. Again, I still haven't really been watching anything. Well, I have actually, but I'm embarrassed to say what it is. If you watch Netflix at all, it's one of the #1 trending things at the moment in the UK. Yeah, it's called Sex Life, or it might be Sex/Life. I'm not really too sure. Very, 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 very racy. So yeah, definitely not one to watch with the children at all. In fact, even to the point that I was embarrassed to have my, you know, bedroom door kind of open at all, and them even be able to hear what I was watching. So, you know, yeah, very, very racy, but it's kind of getting better. I'm sorry, I'm just fiddling around with my glue gun. It's getting better. I can't remember what episode I'm up to, but I've watched a few now. I mean, again, because obviously our evenings are kind of almost like starting so early and endless, going on endlessly. So I've just kind of been watching it a bit while I'm on the laptop and things, doing things. So, you know, researching a fridge, for instance. Yeah, it's getting better. I can't remember what episode I'm actually up to, but it's okay. It's okay, but yeah, I must just, you know, really, really point out how absolutely racy that it really is. I mean, very, very, you know, explicit, and yeah, definitely not one to watch like with children or, you know, any of that malarkey, to be honest. Okay. But hey, I'm, you know, I can't be alone, because it's, yeah, I think it's like #1 trending in the UK at the moment. So I think there is only one season, but yeah, it's very rude, let's just say. Very, very rude. Okay. Oh, how pretty is that? So let me just pop these little roses away, the little rosebuds. Oh, and I want to just say thank you so much to all those kind people who've done the Buy Me a Coffee. I know that I have mentioned this before, but I appreciate it so very much. It's really, really, really kind of you, and yeah, just thank you, you know, so much. It really is very, very much appreciated. I really, yeah, really am very, very grateful. So thank you very much. Okay, let's just check. I don't know whether we want a butterfly on here. No. I don't think it needs a butterfly, does it? It's, yeah, it's a little bit over the top with a butterfly, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't really need one. So, I mean, I love these Matchbox books, and again, actually, they're one of my favourite things to make. And to be honest, again, like last week, always were one of my favourite things to make, but actually I haven't made them so much recently. So, you know, I'm really enjoying actually doing a revisit of all these things that maybe I've, you know, forgotten about and haven't made so much recently. So yeah, these are definitely one of those things. Now I haven't got a journal here to show you, but if this were a journal page, for instance, I'm just going to demonstrate. You would obviously glue down, let's say, on 3 sides here, and then you would obviously have like a pocket, oops, pocket here, and then this flap just tucks in here. You'd have your writing space here, and of course you could attach a little flippy pad or something like that, and I also incorporated that as a pocket up there as well. So yeah, I hope that you like them. I mean, like I say, they always were one of my favorite things to make, and just, yeah, I've kind of forgotten about them, to be honest, a little bit. So this is proving really handy to kind of do a revisit. Whoops. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling to tuck this back in. Obviously, once this is glued on the page, they're much easier to get in because it's just fixed onto the page. But yeah, I hope that you like them, and you know, have fun if you're going to make some. And yeah, let me know what you think below, you know, if you've kind of forgotten these, or do you like making them, you know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic week, and stay well, everybody. Thank you so much, and see you guys soon. Thanks then.